Hello and welcome to the NCWLIFE Evening News on this Friday, January 9th. I'm Grant Olson. Here are some of the stories we have coming up for you tonight. The Washington State Department of Natural Resources is transferring 28 surplus wildfire engines to wildfire-prone communities this spring, with 5 engines coming to north central Washington. A Wenatchee police officer says he was temporarily blinded by a handheld laser, and the man who allegedly held it now faces a criminal charge. More clouds on tap for Saturday, with showers in the forecast on Sunday and Monday. Your full local weather forecast is coming up. A proposed bill in Washington state would limit agencies who use automated license plate readers, or ALPRs, from retaining collected data for longer than 72 hours. ALPRs, like flock cameras, came under scrutiny last year after a default setting on their system caused law enforcement statewide to share data with U.S. Border Patrol, unbeknownst to agencies including the Wenatchee and East Wenatchee Police Departments. The proposed bill would make it unlawful for agencies to use an automated license plate reader system for immigration investigation or enforcement. Agencies would be unable to collect data in certain areas, including near healthcare facilities, schools, places of worship, courts, or food banks. In December, Wenatchee Police Department Chief Edgar Reinfeld opted to turn in his agency's flock cameras off following a ruling out of Skagit County that determined all pictures and information gathered by the license plate readers were public record. The proposed bill would make license plate reader data exempt from the Public Records Act. The Washington State Department of Natural Resources is transferring 28 surplus wildfire engines to wildfire-prone communities this spring, with 5 engines coming to north central Washington. In Chelan County, Lake Wenatchee Fire and Rescue will receive 1 engine, 2 will go to Grant County Fire Districts 3 and 6, and another 2 will be gifted to Okanagan Fire Districts 9 and 16. DNR says the effort is to help bolster wildfire suppression response at the local level. The engines are being provided at no cost. They are made available through the DNR Surplus Engine Program, which is an initiative to place a variety of wildfire engines and other equipment in high-risk areas of the state. A former Grant County deputy and native of Quincy is now a Washington State Patrol trooper. Stormy Brongham graduated Wednesday with a class of 58 troopers after serving 18 years in law enforcement. The new recruits were inducted in a ceremony at the state capitol in Olympia. Brahman was previously a Quincy police officer and most recently a collision investigator with the Grant County Sheriff's Office. 13th District State Representative Alex Ybarra, also a Quincy resident, was on hand to congratulate Brahman. The newly minted trooper will be assigned to patrol out of the agency's Moses Lake office. Everyone affected by the December storms and flooding probably collected some video of the event, but we've seldom seen footage like this. The One Planet Club at Mission View Elementary School maintains a system of trail cams along the Wenatchee River. When the waters began to rise, one camera kept recording the December 11th flooding from underwater. The trail cams are a Mission View program in partnership with Cascadia Conservation District and other local outdoor programs. You can view this video and more at Cascadia's YouTube page. When we come back, Wenatchee's Public Works Director says the effects are still being felt from a major water main break December 29th on Wenatchee Avenue, and a Leavenworth couple rang in the new year celebrating more than just the start of 2026. I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News.
Your favorite local channel is now available for free on your smart TV and connected streaming devices. Watch live programming and catch up with the latest shows on demand. See the local stories that matter to you. NCWLIFE, now on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV.
Family roles change with time. You may find yourself being an unpaid caregiver to a loved one. Caregiving can be rewarding, but also stressful. Taking care of yourself is vital. Aging and Adult Care of Central Washington has low or no cost services for unpaid caregivers, such as in-home support, care supplies, and counseling. Connect in your local area by calling Aging and Adult Care at 800-572-4459 and mention you're interested in caregiver support.
It's time to begin the search for the 2026 Apple Blossom Royal Court. Join NCWLIFE channel for live coverage of the top 10 speeches and top 10 announcements on Tuesday from the Numerica Performing Arts Center. Coverage is brought to you in part by our Platinum supporter, Alpine Air Heating and Cooling, as well as Coldwell Banker Cascade Real Estate. It all begins Tuesday at 1 o'clock here on your official television home of the Washington State Apple Blossom Festival, NCWLIFE channel.
Are you dealing with a pest or weed issue and you just don't know what to do?
We use the best pest control methods approved for areas with kids and pets.
Whether it's rats, mice, ants, or spiders,
or something else altogether.
We provide the coaching and solutions you're looking for.
And you can know that your dollars are supporting a local, family-owned and operated business.
Allow us to help you get back to living healthy and pest-free. Harvest Valley Pest Control.
A Wenatchee police officer says he was temporarily blinded by a handheld laser, and the man who allegedly held it now faces a criminal charge. Albert Gonzalez, who was recently promoted to sergeant with the Wenatchee PD, says he was on patrol close to midnight on January 1st when a pedestrian aimed a green laser at his police vehicle. He says the beam left him temporarily unable to see, and he arrested the man accused of aiming it. 47-year-old Otto Tortuga Gomez of Orondo was allegedly carrying an Olight brand flashlight laser combination. He was arraigned on Wednesday before Chelan County Judge Robert Jordan on a single count of unlawful laser discharge, which is a Class C felony in Washington when its target is a law enforcement officer. Gomez faces a possible trial in March. Wenatchee's Public Works Director says the effects are still being felt from a major water main break December 29th on Wenatchee Avenue. The resulting water leak was so severe it caused an excavator to sink into the street while attempting to dig out the pipe for repairs. Tom Wacholder briefed the City Council last night on the incident.
Last Monday at approximately 10 a.m. we had a 10-inch cast iron water main break on Wenatchee Avenue just north of 5th Street. It was a 1960s era cast iron, and the pipe split an entire section of pipe, so approximately 20 feet in length. And it was such a catastrophic break that it washed out all the sand that was underneath the roadway. So when crews mobilized on the scene with equipment, actually the road collapsed underneath. So good news is there was no injuries, and then the excavator sustained minor damage. It did leave quite a large sinkhole behind. It took about 110 yards of gravel to backfill. So as folks can see that there's still a heave section of the roadway. The crews are actively monitoring this patch. We'll construct a more permanent patch later this year, and there'll be some lane closures as well. But as Mayor Poyer indicated, we were able to resolve this matter with in-house crews. We didn't have to go through an emergency contract procedure and pay prevailing wage. So this was a big win for the community, and just to showcase the effort and the talent that we have in-house here at the cities is quite amazing.
A Leavenworth couple rang in the new year, celebrating more than just the start of 2026. Rebecca and Abraham Bray welcomed Chelan County's first baby of the year. Their son, Ezra James, was born at Confluence Health Hospital in the early hours of January 1st. The Brays said they were surprised to learn Ezra was the first local baby born this year. During labor, they were navigating complications that forced them to change their birth plan. The couple were hoping to have a natural birth at the Wenatchee Midwife Services and Childbirth Center, but ultimately transitioned to the hospital. Rebecca says she was met with patience and support throughout the process, and little Ezra came into the world at 2:45 a.m. on the first day of the year. Coming up next, search and rescue is an important function in mountain communities, and in tonight's feature story, we will bring you a video that outlines their mission. Showers in the forecast for Sunday and Monday with unseasonably warm temperatures on the way early next week. I'll have your local weather details coming up, followed by Eric Granstrom with all the day's sports action as the NCWLIFE Evening News continues after these messages.
Your favorite local channel is now available for free on your smart TV and connected streaming devices. Watch live programming and catch up with the latest shows on demand. See the local stories that matter to you. NCWLIFE, now on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV.
I'm Jen Mueller. Watch for my show, I Cook, You Measure on NCWLIFE. It's part cooking instruction, part entertainment, and all about connecting over food and wine with your favorite Northwest athletes.
Watch I Cook, You Measure with Jen Mueller Mondays at 1, Wednesdays at 2, Fridays at 11 a.m., and Saturday and Sundays at 10:30 p.m. right here on the NCWLIFE channel.
Search and rescue is an important function in mountain communities. Last year, the all-volunteer Okanogan County Search and Rescue Team responded to almost 30 calls for service across their territory, from stuck climbers to lost seniors. The 50-member team has been around since 1998, and it's always seeking new recruits. In tonight's feature story, they offered us this video to outline their mission.
Today we're doing a training targeted towards new volunteers. It's practicing a lot of different hands-on skills like navigation, using radios, ground searches, all sorts of stuff like that. Search and rescue, we help search for and rescue individuals who are in need, either in the backcountry setting or sometimes closer to town, whether that's, hikers, climbers, boaters, anyone that kind of needs assistance. We have a really solid group of volunteers who dedicate a lot of their time to go out and help those individuals.
So today is the WAC 118 course. So WAC 118 is Washington Authority Code. So the legislature wrote the minimum standards to participate in the search and rescue statewide, which survival, first aid, radio communications, aerial, using aircraft, compass and map and compass, and different techniques and search techniques. There's a minimum standard, so we complete that for our new members and refresher course for older members.
Okanogan County is the largest county in Washington State, and so we have a really vast area to cover and a lot of differing topography. And so, yeah, we really need a solid group of volunteers just to cover the large area we have, as well as the very different landscapes.
Well, no different than any county. We have to stay proficient on our skills, so we're always put forth our best effort. And it's important to the families of what we do and stuff. It's important to ourselves what we do, but most importantly, it's for the families in the community. But we also have to train under the WAC 118 statewide, because we also go assist other counties, and other counties come assist us too.
We're looking for anybody. We need like a vast spectrum of skills. The folks that are gonna hike way into the backcountry with a heavy backpack, but also the folks that wanna just help at the base command station and help run the radios and do logistics. So we need all sorts of skill sets.
We look for a wide variety, because we have, I'll use the term mountain goats, and I'm not a mountain goat. And everybody all the way down to people who make a supply run to town. So we could actually we have had people, elderly or maybe even a little bit physically disabled, they can participate in search and rescue, because there's always a function for somebody.
To get involved, our Okanogan County Volunteer Search and Rescue Association helps recruit and onboard new volunteers for us. So they have a website and a Facebook page, and they're the folks that kind of help bring new people into the team.
Today we're doing our refresher training on our rope rescue systems. We have some new members that are interested in learning the ropes. I've been with Okanogan Search and Rescue since 2017. In Okanagan County, we have a huge amount of recreation relative to a small population size in a really dispersed large county, and so it's super important that we have a large pool of volunteers to draw from when we have a mission anywhere from the Pasayten Wilderness to McLaughlin Canyon near Tenasket, or anywhere in between. It's a huge area, complex terrain, and a lot of recreation that's used in our landscape here. You know, even though we do have to do quite a bit of training in order to stay fresh on this stuff, it's pretty rare that we have to use it on a mission. We did have 3 or 4 rescues in 2024 that required rope rescue techniques, and that's more than normal. But when we do have to use those techniques, it's really the only thing that'll work, so it's important that we are trained up and refreshed and ready to deploy those skills when we need to. I would definitely recommend community members to get involved. It's a lot of fun. We get to meet folks that we might not otherwise work with across the county and provide a good service, helping people in time of need. Reach out to the Okanagan County Sheriff's Office or through the website at Okanagan County Search and Rescue Association. We will interview folks and make sure that they know what to expect and what the requirements are, and tell you a little bit more about how to get involved, and we'd be happy to get you trained up and bring you onto the team.
Time now to take a look at your North Central Washington weather forecast, and I hope you ended the week on a high note and had a great day today. Not bad for an early January weather day today. I thought we might see a little more sun than we did see this afternoon, but we did see a little bit of blue sky as we take a look outside our weather window from this afternoon. This is our Wenatchee Heights tower cam shot, but we did see plenty of cloudiness out there as well, and that kept our temperature down just a little bit. And what we saw today is pretty much what we're going to see as we get you into the upcoming weekend as well. Mostly cloudy skies in the forecast today, as we mentioned, and we did see upper 30s generally for high temperatures. And then as we get you into Saturday, more cloudiness tomorrow. I think temperatures will be a lot like today, into the upper 30s. Some folks will see in our viewing area anyway, temperatures right around 40 degrees. But I'm telling you, wait till you see the temperatures next week. High today, a little bit above normal, 38 unofficially, 32 is where we should be for this time of year. And our record high, 48 degrees set in 2007. 30 this morning, 23 our normal low, and 3 degrees our record low set in 1974. Sun came up this morning at 7:46 and sets now right at 4:30. All right, getting you into the weekend and your Saturday temperatures, as I mentioned, a lot like today, right at the 40-degree mark tomorrow for Moses Lake and Ephrata, 39 for Quincy, 38 sent from Ellensburg into Wenatchee, Eniat, Chelan, also Omak at 38, and then just a touch cooler in the upper elevations tomorrow, Leavenworth, high temperature of 36 degrees. All right, tonight, high pressure still in control right over the Great Basin, and look at that very pronounced ridge of high pressure over us. That will be in place tonight with some mostly cloudy skies. Most of those will be in western Washington, up and around the Omak area. Low temperatures tonight in the low 30s. As for the weekend, mostly cloudy skies for Saturday, just slightly cooler tomorrow. Because of all the cloudiness we'll see. High temperatures to kick off our weekend into those upper 30s. And then for your Sunday, high pressure will move just far enough east to allow an Alaskan storm to move our way. We'll see about a 40% chance of rain in the afternoon on Sunday, with high temperatures right about the 40-degree mark. And then as we get into Monday, still some of those leftover showers. There is that storm system in western Montana. It will drag some clouds and some rain showers with it, about a 50% chance of rain for us on Monday. But look what the temperatures begin to do. Mid-40s for afternoon highs on Monday. And then high pressure once again strengthens over the Great Basin. Mostly sunny on Tuesday and warmer. Look at that. High temperatures near 50 degrees on Tuesday. And look at that. It goes for almost all of the western United States. And we're not going to change much for Wednesday either, with mostly sunny skies and unsettled unseasonably warm temperatures as that southerly flow continues to move our way. Again on Wednesday, high temperatures right at the 50-degree mark. And then as we get you into the end of the forecast on Thursday, we're going to get even sunnier. In fact, look at all the sunshine all across the western United States. Very unusual for this time of year. Still warm on Thursday with high temperatures then in the upper 40s. All right, here's your 7-day forecast now, and it's brought to you by Colonial Vista Senior Living in Wenatchee, where comfort, care, and community come together. 31 overnight tonight, mostly cloudy on Saturday and 38, and then a couple of rainy days, Sunday and Monday, 39 Sunday, 45 the temperature on Monday, and then look at those temperatures on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Mostly sunny to sunny skies with high temperatures in the upper 40s to near 50 degrees. And that's a look at your North Central Washington weather forecast. Coming up next, tonight's sports report with Eric Granstrom and more as the NCWLIFE Evening News continues right after this.
Your favorite local channel is now available for free on your smart TV and connected streaming devices. Watch live programming and catch up with the latest shows on demand. See the local stories that matter to you. NCWLIFE, now on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV.
And a good friendly Friday to you. The Kraken earned a point, but their 4-game winning streak ended in overtime last night. Minnesota jumped out to a 2-0 lead in the first period before Seattle battled back in the third to force overtime. That's when the Wild won it by a final of 3-2. John Forsland had the call on Kong TV.
Quinn Hughes now moving across since he's been acquired. A goal, 11 assists. That's all in a couple of weeks. Hartman with a shot. He scores! Ryan Hartman disguising that shot. With 5 minutes gone in the first period, Minnesota breaks the ice. Defensively marked by Dunn. Boldy stays with it. Good strength by him. Quinn Hughes, Faber. Shooting one, he scores! Brock Faber finds the mark. And now McCann back for Dunn. Here's Chandler Stevenson. Beniers with a shot right all the way. Beautiful stop by Volstad. Vince Dunn. Freddie Gaudreau. At the line, the Kraken gain entry. Catton. His shot turned out by Volstad. Is it a jailbreak? We'll see. Capo Caco shifts by Hartman. Walks it in for a chance. Stopped by Volstad. Caco again and back of the goal. Carried out by Myers. Melanson over the line in the zone. Drops it for Fleury in front. Myers! What a save by Volstad! Myers in back of the goal. Melanson in front. There's the pass for Cartier denied. Dunn off the goalpost. Larson. He scores! Oh, the big cat pounced on that one. At the line, retaken by Quinn Hughes in his own territory. A Zinga pass off the stick of Stevenson, collected by Grubauer. He'll move it. Look out. Loose play. Grubauer comes up huge. Stop. Beniers the rebound. Forked wide. Gaudreau back of the goal. McCann from the half boards resets it for Dunn. Far side, Stevenson. Dunn again. McCann. Stop the rebound. They score! Matty Beniers right on the spot. That'll bring the house down. On the power play, the Kraken have tied it. Quinn Hughes is on it. This way for Boldy. Here it comes. Fought off again by Grubauer. Cartier, 2 seconds left. Larson will secure it. That'll do it. And each team has secured 1 point. Sorry to interrupt. Evans in the zone. The slot pass broken up by Faber. Jailbreak Minnesota. Kaprizov with Zuccarello. Kirill Kaprizov holding on to it. Zuccarello scores. Matt Zuccarello wins it in overtime.
Seattle's en route to Carolina to face the Hurricanes tomorrow at 4 o'clock. That'll be a Prime Video, King 5, and Kong TV. Well, half of the college football national championship matchup was determined last night in a thriller in the desert. Miami scored with 18 seconds left and held on during a last-second Hail Mary to beat Ole Miss 31-27 at the VRBO Fiesta Bowl in Glendale, Arizona. Hurricanes will face the winner of tonight's matchup in the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl between Oregon and Indiana. That game's underway on ESPN. Well, the Seahawks will know their divisional opponent in the NFC playoffs after 2 games are played tomorrow. The Rams play at Carolina at 1:30 on Fox, followed by the Bears and Packers in Chicago at 5 on Prime Video. Seattle will face the Packers if they win, or the winner of the Rams and Panthers if Chicago wins. Sunday's games start at 10 a.m. on CBS with Buffalo visiting Jacksonville. Philadelphia hosts San Francisco at 1:30 on Fox. Sunday night game features the Chargers and Patriots on NBC. That's at 5 o'clock. NFL Wildcard Weekend wraps up on Monday nights with Pittsburgh hosting Houston at 5. That'll be on ESPN and ABC. Well, the Bobcats and Bulldogs were victorious in men's college basketball last night. Montana State edged Eastern Washington 68-64, while the 8th-ranked Gonzaga Bulldogs held off Santa Clara 89-77. Eastern will host Montana tomorrow at 2 o'clock on ESPN+. Washington State will play at Santa Clara at 3 on the CBS Sports Network. Washington will host Ohio State Sunday at 3 o'clock. That's on the Peacock Network. 15th-ranked Michigan State took down 23rd-rated Washington last night to women's college basketball. 82-67 the final. Montana won a thrill over Eastern Washington in overtime, 72-70. Oregon State won at Washington State, 78-64. Women's schedule tomorrow begins at noon with Washington State hosting Santa Clara on ESPN+. That's where you'll also find Eastern Washington and Montana at 1, and Gonzaga hosts Pepperdine at 2. Washington plays at Purdue Sunday morning at 11 a.m. on the Big Ten Network. Well, staying with the college level for part of the NCW Classic this weekend, Wenatchee Valley will host Yakima Valley tomorrow at Smith Gym on the college campus. Men tip it up at 1 o'clock with the ladies to follow at 3. The prep side of the NCW Classic begins tonight at Wenatchee Valley College. Lake Roosevelt and Tulalip Heritage play tonight. That one's underway. Cascade and DeSales follow. Action begins tomorrow morning at 9 in the Town Toyota Center. 5th grade AAU battle between Eastmont and Wenatchee. It's Cashmere and DeSales boys at 11. Omak takes on Tulalip Heritage at 5. Chelan and Lake Roosevelt tip it up for the final game of the showcase at 7 o'clock. Checking the prep girls basketball scoreboard from last night. Here you have it. Lake Roosevelt beat up Bridgeport 61-11. Pateras tackled Tonasket 52-21. Moses Lake Christian stopped Soap Lake 40-26. Girls schedule for tonight gets underway at 5:30. Moses Lake at Eastmont, while Wenatchee is visiting Eisenhower, and Ephrata hosts Toppenish. Manson visits Chelan at 5:45. 6 o'clock games have Omak at Tonasket. Brewster hosts Liberty Bell. Oroville travels to Wilson Creek, and Waterville Mansfield is hosting Aniat. Okanagan plays at Colville tonight at 7:15. On tap tomorrow, Quincy hosts Prosser at 3:30. Lakeside 9 Mile Falls visits Quincy at 4. Eastmont plays at Davis at 4:30. Moses Lake hosts West Valley also at 4:30, while Waterville Mansfield plays at Okanagan, and Manson visits Soap Lake. A couple of boys scores from last night. Bridgeport beat Lake Roosevelt 69-62. Moses Lake Christian down Soap Lake 60-21. The Okanagan boys visit Colville tonight at 5:45. Eastmont hosts Moses Lake at 7, while Wenatchee's at Eisenhower, and Ephrata hosts Toppenish. Chelan welcomes Manson at 7:15. Liberty Bell plays at Brewster at 7:30, while Tonasket takes on Omak. Oroville visits Wilson Creek. Waterville Mansfield hosts Aniat. You probably saw it on the schedule, but a reminder that we'll be at Eastmont High School for the Wildcats and Moses Lake boys and girls tonight. We'll have the play-by-play with Grant Olson, starting with the girls at 5:30. The boys will follow at 7 o'clock. That's on TV and the stream. Coming up tomorrow, Liberty Bell faces Toledo in Kittitas at 1:30. Quincy hosts Prosser at 5, while Oroville welcomes Grace City Academy. Lakeside 9 Mile Falls visits Brewster at 5:30. 6 o'clock games have Eastmont at Davis, West Valley at Moses Lake. Soap Lake hosts Manson. Elmira Cooley Heartline plays at Okanagan. Wenatchee earned large-size Big 9 win in wrestling last night. The Panthers traveled to Davis and edged the Pirates 41-38. Way to go, Wenatchee. Ephrata is in Post Falls, Idaho today and tomorrow for a tournament. Eastmont and Quincy will be in Cheney for the Black Hawk Invite. Wrestlers from Cascade, Brewster, Liberty Bell, and Tonasket are in Warden for an invitational tomorrow morning starting at 10 o'clock. Finally, not to be forgotten, And the Wenatchee Wild have a couple of home games this weekend in WHL action. Wenatchee hosts Moose Jaw tonight at 7 o'clock at the Town Toyota Center. Wild will head to Vancouver tomorrow, and that game starts at 7. They'll be back at home on Sunday at 4 against the Giants. You can go to WenatcheeWildHockey.com for tickets. That's Checking Sports News. I'm Bert Granstrom. Have a great weekend.
And that will do it for this Friday edition of the NCW Life Evening News. Remember, if you see news happening, let us know. Email your news tips to news@ncwlife.com or just give us a call at 888-6295. Our channel is also available on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV. I'm Grant Olson. Thanks so much for being with us, and have a great weekend.